Hi, my name is Stacy and I'm with Allison's Pantry, and I'm excited today to share with you some ideas on how to make your meal planning in a minute. It's always been a stress of mine to be able to find something for dinner. I'm sure it's not any different in your life, and so I'd like to share with you a couple of ideas that I've found throughout the course of my life that have helped me in this area. One of them I learned that I'm going to share with you today is from a lady named Liz Edmonds. She was a special guest speaker of ours at our last Allison's Pantry Food Show. And she's known as the Food Nanny. She's known all around the United States. This is her book, her second book actually, The Food Nanny Rescues Dinner. It's available to you. You can get it on Amazon. If you like anything I tell you about in that, I would encourage you to go ahead and get that ordered. She's got a lot of great recipes in it and some ideas that we'll talk about tonight. First, I want to remind you to set the date on your calendar. We are offering a food show this year. It's been 3 years. We are so excited about having it. It's going to be on a Saturday, September 16th at Utah Valley University. It's open to the public and to you reps, and we would love to have you. You'll learn a lot of our products. You'll get to taste them. You'll have special offers during that time. We would love to have you come and share that day with us, so put it on your calendar. Don't miss it. Okay, let's get started. A couple of the things that Liz has taught me and that I've incorporated is to try and write down my menu plan for the month. You can do it in a 2-week increment or in a month. Either way, what works best for you. The reason that it helps to write it down is that you don't have to think about it every day. Sometimes the hardest part is getting up in the morning and going, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? And you just don't know. If you have it written down, all you have to do is go read what you wrote down and you've got a plan already in front of you. Okay, the second thing is to pick a theme night. Her recommendations are like this. Monday would be a comfort food night. Comfort foods are things like stews and soups, mac and cheese, shepherd's pie, pot pies, anything that feels good and warms your tummy. That's a comfort food. And comfort foods are kind of fun would be fun on a Monday because Mondays are sometimes hectic. After the weekend, we're all trying to get back into the swing of the week. And so it's always a busy night, especially around in this area. Mondays always seem to be busy with other activities. So it would be good to have a fast evening dinner that way. Tuesday is Italian night. Italian night, so easy. Everybody can do Italian. Spaghetti, pasta, chicken parmesan, ravioli, anything that goes along with that Italian theme. Wednesday is FMB night. FMB stands for fish, meatless, and breakfast. Now, if you're not a fish family and your family doesn't dig on the fish thing, that's okay too. That's why breakfast is thrown in there. Breakfast is kind of a fun thing to throw in because most of us don't get a lot of time during the day to have or in the mornings to have breakfast together because we're going, you know, all which way. So it's kind of fun to be able to have a nice big breakfast in the evening, and your family will love it. Okay, the next night is Thursday, and that would be Mexican night. Mexican is way too easy. There's so many things that are Mexican. Tacos, enchiladas, burritos, chilies, nachos, fajitas. And the good thing about doing the theme night is that you're not eating enchiladas, burritos, and fajitas all in 1 week. So you kind of spread it out. So it's a good way to plan. Okay, Friday would be pizza night. I also throw in there pizza / leftovers because in our family, Friday was our date night, and so our kids got to stay home with a sitter or when they got older on their own, and so I'd always leave the leftovers for them to have for dinner, and that way you're not wasting the food that you'd already prepared that week, and kids don't really care, so you can just let them use those leftovers. But pizza night, you can order out or you can make your homemade and make calzones or homemade pizza, you know, anything like that. Saturday is grill night, so anything that you can put on the grill, or if you don't want to go out and use your grill, like if it's winter time and it's too cold, pull out your George Foreman or put it in the oven and grill it that way. Flat iron steaks, fish, pork tenderloins, burgers, anything along that lines. Sunday is traditional. Sunday is always a fun day. We always loved it at our house. We always had a nice sit-down dinner on Sunday. It was one of those slower kind of days that you could enjoy the family, so that's the time you bring out your roast, anything that's a little bit bigger to do than on a regular weeknight. Turkey breasts, barbecued chicken, things like that. So those are her theme nights. That gives us a start at filling up our calendar, and it helps us to get planning. Okay, now you've decided on your theme nights. Now it's time to go find out what you have that you can put on that menu. Number one thing is to go to your freezer. Go to your freezer, find out what you've already purchased, what's in there. But before you start digging in your freezer, I want to give you a hint. Make your freezer easy to use. We get so frustrated with opening our big freezers and there's so many things in there we don't know where anything's at. So if you'll get into a kind of a habit of organizing your freezer in sections and have your proteins in one section, your vegetables in one section, your potatoes, your starches in another section, and your fruits in another section. It will make it so much more easy to go find out what you're going to have for dinner if you'll organize that. And then the other thing is, once you find what you have, you want to find what you need to put on that the calendar. So go find your proteins, what you've already purchased, and then take your catalog with you and get ready to look through your catalog, because that's how you can shop with Allison's Pantry too. Allison's Pantry, we do order once a month, and so if you're doing a once a month calendar, if you'll do your calendar the same time you order, it'll be a lot easier to fill that calendar up. So you'll know what you have in your freezer, and then if you decide you need something else to add in those nights that you need to set up something to cook, then you'll be able to add that in. And I want to remind you too, with Allison's Pantry, most of those items that we sell are food service size, so you're getting a bigger bang for your buck. And when you purchase like the Holton chicken fried steak, you're getting 40 patties in there. Realize that you're going to be able to use those for, you know, multiple dinner items. So you'll be able to use those many times on your menu. So it's a better deal, and it's a good way to shop with Allison's Pantry because you're using your menu planning. Get in the habit of, like I said, sorting through your freezers, and so you know where everything's at. You'll go to your core proteins. Your core proteins are things like your chicken breasts, your pork, steaks, fish, bacon. Anything that's a meat will go into that protein. Your vegetables, your corn, your beans, peas, carrots, fajita blend, stew blend. We have so many choices to be able to put there in that place. And then your starches, of course, your potatoes, your hash browns, mashed potatoes, and your sweet potatoes. All those would go in that area. Now, once you do that, it'll make it so much easier to shop and to fill your catalog, or your calendar, excuse me. Okay, first one we're going to talk about is the turkey pot roast. This is a fully cooked turkey pot roast. It's made by Harvest Provisions. This is the first time I've cooked it too, and so I'm excited to see how it turns out. Now, it comes in a bag. Can you see that it's all in this bag? It's a cookable bag. You can either boil it in the bag, or you can take it out of the bag and put it in a crock pot and cook it for, you know, just to warm. It's already fully cooked, so all you're doing is warming it through. Or I just went ahead and put it in this oven, you know, pan, and then I put just a little bit of water in the bottom just to keep it from sticking to the thing. And now, so it's been fully cooked. So we're gonna go ahead and slice this bag open and see what we've got in here. And then we'll go ahead and plate it. It's a little warm. We'll see how we can do it. So it's full of juice and oh yeah, all over. That's fun. And it's already fully cooked turkey with a little bit of seasoning in it too. So this is all new to me too. I didn't want to take it out of the bag to cook it in this pan because it had all that seasoning. I thought it would be really good if I just left it in there. So the trick is getting it out of the bag. If you have kitchen shears, you should use those. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just dump it out of this bag, and you'll see, oh my gosh, it looks yummy. It's got a lot of juice with it. Okay, so the way I was gonna prepare this tonight is to put it over, like I think you could do a lot of things with this. You could put it over mashed potatoes, which is what I'm gonna do tonight with it, with some green beans, or you could serve it over, thicken up your sauce a little bit and serve it over toast. So you'd have like turkey with on a hot open-faced turkey sandwich kind of thing. I think you could use it, when it cooled, you could use the leftover meat for a turkey sandwich on a bun. And you could also use whatever's left over as your meat in a salad if you wanted. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but that's like great turkey meat, very tender and moist and just pulling apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready, and we'll dish it up and I'll show you what it's gonna look like. Okay, so we've got this turkey all up. I kind of just pulled it apart with a fork, and it's got great gravy on it. You could actually thicken a little bit, but I think it's gonna be just fine as it cools. It's thickening up. I also think you could use this great on pasta. So for your pasta night, if you wanted to had leftover of this turkey, because anytime you're going to serve this for a Sunday meal or anything like that, you'll have a little leftover. So you could do it for open-faced sandwiches or your pasta over rice. It'd be great for a lot of good things. So I'm excited about it. It tastes really good too. So right now we're going to get ready to plate this up, and I'll show you what I was intending for dinner. I'm going to just take these, Flavor Pack whole green beans, and they've actually been thawed, so I'm going to go ahead and just put those in my pan with just a little bit of oil. I'm going to go ahead and cook those for a few minutes, put some kosher salt on them, and then of course our good Chef Chamois butter. We'll put a little butter in there to flavor it up. I also like the Montreal chicken seasoning. It's got garlic in it and a lot of good flavor to it to season up your green beans. Now, of course, you can just do these if you'd like in the microwave. That works too. In the oven, on the stovetop, however you want to do it. But it's kind of fun to saute them because it's just a different way to prepare them. So we'll let those cook for a second. Add a little pepper to those. Those are whole peppercorns. Okay, let's plate this. So I'm going to use the Lamb Weston roasted garlic mashed potatoes. We've used these before, but they're so simple, they just come frozen. We're gonna go ahead and put that on our plate. And then I'm gonna put some of this turkey with the gravy over top. Oh my gosh, that looks yummy. I don't know about you guys, but it's time for dinner. Okay, and then we're gonna add a few beans along the side. Okay, and there we have our turkey pot roast. And that looks wonderful. So you're gonna have to give this one a try. Okay, next protein is our bacon wrapped pork fillets. These are Smithfield brand bacon wrapped pork fillets. They come in a sleeve of 6, or you can buy them in the case. Now, the way that I cook these pork fillets, you could do it a couple different ways. I prefer to sear them in a pan. That's what we're going to do tonight. Sear them in a pan and then finish them in the oven. You want them to reach 160 degrees in the center, so you can use a thermometer if you'd like. They will be slightly pink around the outside, so don't think that it's not finished. It's because the bacon kind of colors the meat. So we're going to go ahead and put those in. We'll let them start sizzling. Now, the other ways you could cook these is to put them on a grill and cook them on the grill. You could cook them on a George Foreman. You can also, if you want to prepare them, and the other night I made stir fry with them, and I just cut them into little strips and cut them in half then again, and threw them in the pan with my yakisoba noodles and the stir fry veggies, and they were wonderful. And so you can use them for that. You could use them if you wanted to use them for a breakfast. You could cook one of these with your hash browns and eggs. And then tonight we're going to make them 2 different ways. We're going to make the regular just seared, and then I'm going to put a barbecue sauce over top. And then the second way is I'm going to put them back in the oven after they're cooked in the oven, and we'll put them back in the oven with a little bit of a brie cheese, brie and pepper over top, and let it melt, and we'll serve them that way. So go ahead and let these cook. Now remember, when you're searing, put them down, let them get nice and crispy. When the edges start to turn brown, then you're going to flip them, and then we'll pull them out and put them in the oven. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish up. The bacon wrap pork fillets are in the oven. They are going to cook for a few more minutes. While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cook. We're going to use the Simplot roasted baby bakers, and I'm going to go ahead and just put them. This is a hot pan. I'm actually using the pan that we did the pork in, so it'll give a little bit of that flavoring. And I've added just a little bit more oil to it. We're going to go ahead and just put those in and go ahead and fry those too. Now you could do these in the oven also if you wanted. You could do them in the microwave. I've done them in the microwave before too. I kind of like the way they come out in the pan. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of, let's do some pepper on them, some kosher salt. And we'll just let those fry for a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of the garlic butter in there. And we'll let those sizzle, and they'll get a little crispy on the outside. Now, as we did a couple months ago, you could smash these if you wanted. They were thawed. I let them thaw out before I put them in the pan. You could smash them, or you could cut them in half. I just went ahead and just left them whole. That way, if you put them on your pan, on your plate, you could actually put some sour cream if you wanted to serve that with them. Now, they're already cooked, so they're already soft inside, so you're basically just heating them through and letting them get a little crispy on the outside. Okay, for their vegetable, we're going to splurge just a little bit and use our, these are the Flavor Pack Sunshine Carrots and the Bright Harvest Country Style Cuts, so sweet potatoes and carrots. I've put a little bit of butter in this pan, just regular butter. And I'm going to put a little bit of brown sugar in there to kind of caramelize. And we'll let that caramelize, and then we'll add our vegetables to it. So we'll have kind of a sweet, sweet veggie to go along with our bacon wrap pork fillets. And you can see how that's starting to caramelize. Doesn't take very long. You don't want to let it cook too long, or it'll start burning the sugars in there. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and pour some of these in there. Now, I've already let these thaw. It's going to be kind of like Thanksgiving, but a mini Thanksgiving. Okay, we'll let those cook for a second and check on our potatoes and our bacon wrap pork fillets. Okay, our bacon wrap pork fillets are finished. For a couple of them, we're going to go ahead and do 2 of them, and I want to put brie on the second one because I'm going to serve this with brie and the cracked pepper. So we'll go ahead and do the first one, and I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of them on a plate. And now I brought these to 145 degrees. That's what the recommended is. I told you 160 before. It's 145, and they are finished. You can also tell too by how firm they are when you touch them. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of barbecue sauce on these. This is a homemade peach barbecue sauce that my son made. And then I'd like to go ahead and serve them with these sweet potatoes and carrots. Okay, and then the last part of our plate is our mini baby bakers. And then if you put a little salad on the side, you've got a wonderful plate for that. I'm going to go ahead and just slice one of these open so you can see what they look like inside. We always have a lot of questions on these pork wrap fillets and see if they're finished or not. But yeah, it's great. They're wonderful. They taste great. So, okay. So there's an idea now. While I've showed you that, we're going to go ahead and put the brie on these other 2, and I'll put them back in the oven. Brie cheese is just a really light kind of like a mozzarella, but it's just a little nicer. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the top, put a little pepper on there, and we'll just put them in for a couple minutes to let that cheese melt, and then we'll pull those back out and I'll show you what they're like. Okay, these are finished. Look at those, how that cheese is melted. Those look great. So I'll go ahead and just plate those up. Now you could serve these with anything you wanted. If you just wanted to do a salad, you could do that too with your wrapped filet, or potatoes or veggie, whatever you choose to do. So we'll go ahead and cut this and let you see what that looks like inside. That one's pretty pink in there, but they are finished. So you'll get a few that are really nice and pink in there. You'll get some that are a little more white. It just depends on your cut of pork. There you go. A lot of different ideas. Go ahead and figure out what your proteins are, get your calendar made, and you're set to go. Easy, fast meals. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I'm a regional sales manager for Allison's Pantry, and I'd like to talk to you today about freezer meal cooking. I have a large family and a busy life, and so freezer cooking is something that works really well at my house. I'd like to start by telling you 3 of the biggest mistakes that I ever made with freezer cooking. The first time that I tried it, I decided that I was going to cook 30 meals all in one day, and not having a lot of experience with it, that was probably not the best idea. The second mistake I made was that I was going to make 30 different meals for my family's month of cooking, which was too much to take on. And then the third mistake that I made was that I tried a whole bunch of recipes that my family had never eaten before. And so when we pulled it out of the freezer, they did not like the food at all. They're like, meh. And so we ended up throwing away a lot of food. So I'm excited to hopefully help you not make those same mistakes that I did. I have some really great ideas for you. A lot of the ideas that I have come from this book. I love this book. This is by Jessica Fisher, and she really explained a lot of ways to avoid some of the mistakes that I made. It's called Not Your Mother's Freeze Ahead Cookbook. And we actually have this available for purchase on our website. We only have 25 of them though, and they're $18.99. So you're gonna wanna run to the site and get them as fast as possible because they will sell out fast. So she has a lot of good ideas, and the ideas that we'll be using today and the recipes we'll be using today come from her book. So there's lots of different ways that you can do freezer meal cooking. One of the first ways that you can do that I love doing is that when you're making dinner, you can make 2 instead of 1. So if you're making 1 lasagna, you make 2 and then 1 goes in the freezer. If you're making soup, instead of making soup enough for 1 night for your family, you make enough soup for 2 nights for your family. Another way is to just pick 1 protein, and it's kind of a mini session, and you pick chicken and you make 5 recipes of the same thing. So 5 chicken cacciatoris, you just boom, all at once, and it's done. Or you can take on a whole day worth of cooking, but I recommend that you try the smaller amount first. And then all the tips that I have for you today, and there's a lot more that I won't mention, you can find in our PDF that comes along with the webinar. Another thing that I'd really like to talk to you about is our containers. When you're freezer meal cooking, there's a lot of different containers you can use. And one of my favorites is these disposable pans that you can buy at the store. They're inexpensive. They come in a lot of different sizes, depending on what you're looking for, and they work great. Allison's Pantry sells the most amazing deli containers. Now, I use these all the time in the freezer. They come in 2 sizes, a 32 ounce and a 16 ounce, and they're disposable, and they come with lids, and they work really well in the freezer. They're good for anything like a soup or a casserole or anything like that in individual servings or enough for 2 or 3 people, and they're really inexpensive. You can find them on page 47 of our catalog. We also sell in our catalog our Ziploc freezer bags. They're gallon size, and these are really good for freezer meal cooking because you can stack them one on top of another, and then they don't take up very much space in your freezer. So lots of good ideas to get started, but let's go ahead and start with our first meal. This recipe is super easy and your family's gonna love it. It's a beef fajita kit, and it is really super awesome. So when you're doing freezer meal cooking and you're working with liquids, then a really great idea is to take your Ziploc bag and to put it over the top of either a pitcher or a big bowl. That'll work. And so we're gonna take our beef fajita strips and just drop them right into the bag. But these are just so perfect in case you didn't notice. They're just really awesome little beef fajita sticks. So we're taking our beef fajita strips, and then we're gonna add our fajita seasoning mix. There's 3 tablespoons of that goes in there, and then 1/4 cup of water goes in there. And then we're just gonna pull it out of the container, and we're just gonna mix it up so that it's mixed up really, really well. And then it's gonna be ready to freeze. So just like that, super easy. And I wanna show you a technique that's really good when you're making freezer meals. First of all, I want you to notice that I have my meat and my vegetables in different containers. And that's because when you're freezer cooking, you really wanna have a good product when you're done. And so when you're doing raw vegetables and raw meat, if you put them in separate containers, that's gonna be really helpful, because a lot of times the meat takes longer to cook than your vegetables do. Especially if you're doing something like a beef and broccoli, you don't wanna put them in together, because then they'll cook the same amount of time in your crock pot, and then your vegetables will be mushy. So it's a good idea to put them in 2 separate containers. Second of all, you want to make sure all the air is out of it. And some of you have a Silameal that will just make it up really nice, and that's great. But for those of us who don't, you can actually use a straw. And all you have to do is you zip your, I hope you can see this, you just zip your bag shut except for the little space of the straw, and then you suck out the air. Just like that, and zip it shut, and then you have no air, and it's ready to go. So super easy. When I'm doing freezer meals with my kids, then they get to be the one to suck out all the air, and they think that's pretty cool. Now, one thing we've done is we have made beautiful, thank you, Lori, we have made beautiful labels to go on your meal. So for the fajita meals, all I do is I take my label and I stick it on top of the meal saying it's done, and I have, so this is a kit. So it comes with the vegetables, and it comes with the tortillas, and then of course it comes with our meat that I'm gonna have, and we're gonna put this all into one, this will all go into one Ziploc bag, and then the directions for cooking it are actually right on the outside of it. So super fast. That took what, 2 minutes to put together? Not very long. Then it goes in the freezer, and the directions for how to cook it are on the outside of it. We're just gonna fry up that meat. We're gonna throw on the vegetables for a couple of extra minutes, and then we're gonna serve it on a warm tortilla. Allison's Pantry sells the best tortillas. They're so fresh, and they are really a good buy. They're so much cheaper than what you can get in the store. So check those out in our catalog. And then you can just add whatever you want. You can add cheese and guacamole and anything else, some fresh tomatoes to your fajitas, whatever it is that you would like. So great recipe. Try this one. Okay, I'm gonna show you a super easy recipe. You're gonna love this one. It's pork chops. And I want to tell you about a new product that we have. This is from Main Street Meats. Now, Main Street Meats is located in Salt Lake City, Utah, so it's a local company, and they make the highest quality meats you have ever seen in your life. And these are their pork chops. Isn't that just a beautiful chop? Really a beautiful, beautiful pork chop. I want to let you see it really close. See how gorgeous that is? So it's a great pork chop, and we're just dropping those into our bag, because remember, we talked about this. We have a Ziploc bag with all of our meat in there. And then we are going to add into it cream of chicken soup, 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And then 1/4 of a cup of our Rosie's Ranch dressing. This is so versatile. I hope you guys all have this in your pantry. There's so many things you can do with it besides making ranch dressing. So drop that in there. And then after that, all we're gonna do is just mix it all up and freeze it. Now this is going to be a really good recipe to pair with our lamb Weston mashed potatoes and maybe a side of our frozen vegetables. You know, one of the things that makes cooking freezer meals with Allison's Pantry food so easy is that we have the vegetables that are already prepared for you. They're already chopped, they're already clean, and when you're doing freezer meal cooking, you really cannot, you can't just put in a vegetable by itself if it's not already prepared. Like potatoes, that's one thing you don't want to freeze by itself because it's going to turn black. Unless it's a prepared potato already, like our Allison's Pantry foods are, and then you just drop it in whatever and it's ready to go. So another reason to use Allison's Pantry vegetables when you're doing your freezer meal cooking, because it's going to save you so much time and you're going to get a really high quality product when you're done. Okay, so that's it. We have our pork chops all ready to go. We're going to slap a label on that and put it in the freezer, and then we're going to serve it with our lamb Weston mashed potatoes and a vegetable. Okay, this is a really great recipe for when you're kind of on the run. These are our beautiful ciabatta rolls. We love these. So we're gonna use a ciabatta roll, and I wanna tell you about a new product we have. I just wanna you to see what the meat looks like. This is from Main Street Meats. It's a new chicken pieces, and it's number 2620, and it comes already cut up into little pieces like this. So it makes whatever you're preparing super, super easy. We also have another new product. It's from Main Street Meats also, and it's little hamburger sliders. They're so cute. You can find them at the beginning of our catalog number 3, and it's number 2617. So check those out too. So we have our meat all cooked and chopped, and we're gonna get started. We're gonna start by putting some garlic butter onto both sides of our roll, just like this. And then we're going to add some chicken. Oops. Next we add the chicken. And we're just gonna sprinkle just a little bit of chicken on the one side of the roll like this. And then we're gonna add some bacon, because who doesn't love chicken and bacon, right? Bacon's good on everything. And then we're just gonna take our sliced cheese. Allison's Pantry sells the best sliced cheese, and we're just gonna put a couple of slices on this side. And then we just put it together and wrap it in foil. And then you can freeze it like this, and then when you're ready to prepare it, you can cook these like 4 or 5 of these in a slow cooker on like low for 4 hours, and that would be great. Or you can warm them up in the oven, and they're gonna be delicious. Your family will love these. This is a great recipe. It's called Favorite Irish Stew, and this is from our cookbook from Jessica Fisher. And it's interesting how she does this meal, because she actually cooks this meal before she freezes it. And she starts, when you're doing freezer meal cooking, you want to be as efficient as possible. So this would be a first meal that you would start, and while it's cooking, then you would cook all of your other meals. And one thing that's really going to help you to have success in your meals, that means that when you're re-warming it up and you're serving it, that it's going to taste as good as if you made it fresh. One thing that's really important to help with that is to make sure that your food is cold before you put it in the freezer. Because when it's warm, it lets off moisture, and then that moisture turns into ice crystals, and then that gives you an inferior product when you're actually serving it. So make sure that whatever you're cooking and preparing, that you let it set on the counter for a little bit, and then you put it in the refrigerator, and then once it's really cold, then you put it into your freezer. And then you're gonna have a better product. So one thing that Allison's Pantry sells, but it's brand new this month, is our crock pot liners. And as you can see, I'm without a crock pot liner. Get those, they will change your life. They're the best. And you can find them at the front of our catalog. So what I've done is I've taken our beef stew cubes. Now these are another Main Street Meats product, and they're so good. The cubes come already chopped up, ready to go. And what I've done to save time is I've mixed this with some flour and just browned the meat. And then we just pop that in there, and this is a recipe I'm doubling. That's why you're seeing so much of this food. And then our onions already chopped. Once I started buying our onions, number 5772, I just cannot stand to chop an onion anymore, because they come frozen and already chopped for you. And we just cooked these up in the drippings of the meat. And so we're gonna dump those in. And then we're gonna add some beef broth to this. And then we're gonna let this cook on low for 4 hours. And then we're gonna add into it our vegetables, because we don't want our vegetables to be overcooked and mushy. And so we'll add those in, and then we'll cook it a little bit more, then we'll cool it and freeze it. But I just wanted you to see our beautiful potatoes. These are our red skin diced potatoes, and they come already diced. All the work is done for you. You could freeze them, you know, they're frozen, so you're not gonna worry about them turning brown or black, and it's gonna save you so much time in the prep. And these are our beautiful sunshine carrots, and same deal, they're already cut for you. The prep work is already done, so that's going to save you hours when you're making your freezer meals. And then we're just going to dump those in, and then we're going to have this really delicious stew that would serve really well with our beehive rolls. So lots of really good ideas today on our freezer meal cooking. I hope that there's been a couple of ideas that you liked. Now, because of time, I did not cover all of the really great tips there are about freezer meal cooking, but you can see those on our PDF. They are amazing. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, this is Becky Price. I'm a regional sales manager with Allison's Pantry, and I'm also a sales rep in the great state of Wyoming. Today I'm excited to talk to you about some of our great kitchen hack products. First, our cookie sheets. These are amazing. They are 13 inches by 18 inches, a nice big size. They're all aluminum. And they cook or bake our products so wonderful. They're going to cook very evenly, so you're going to be really happy with these cookie sheets. And now you see this is brand new and it is beautiful. Well, I want to talk to you about how to keep it looking nice. First off, you want to hand wash. Do not put these in the dishwasher. They are going to discolor if you do. Here's a picture that was shared with us of what happens in the dishwasher. So you can see that it definitely discolors the metal, so make sure you always hand wash your cookie sheets. Secondly, while you're using these, you have a couple of ways of keeping them nicer. First, our Vegeline. Absolutely love our Vegeline. This particular can is a 21-ounce spray can. It is a premium 3-oil blend. It has canola oil, sunflower oil, and soybean oil in it. Now this can, 21 ounces, has 2,380 servings in it. Now granted, a serving size is 1/3 of a second of spray, which when you're spraying your cookie sheets is a lot longer than that, but I will tell you what, this can is going to last a long time, and this is a great product to have in your kitchen. It's going to save you lots of time. It handles high temperatures, so it's not going to brown and get really yucky like some of the other sprays that you can get from the grocery store. Very high quality spray, and you're going to love it. So you can use it on your cookie sheets to help things from sticking. If you use your wire rack, spray it and it will help things from sticking on it. If you use it in your oven to bake to cook your bacon or to grill inside your oven, that's a perfect way. And again, our wire racks are another great kitchen hack product you can't live without. I have about 3 of these in my house and I love them. With the cookie sheets, I personally love to use the parchment paper. This is another great kitchen hack product that we carry. There are 100 sheets in this package, and they are the perfect size. They fit right inside our cookie sheets, and so they're perfect for all kinds of things. Now, you will be amazed at how many uses people have come up with for parchment paper. So just kind of thinking about when you're baking, they're perfect for lining your cookie sheets to do cookies or chicken nuggets. Anything that's kind of greasy, it's going to help to absorb some of that grease and keep your cookie sheets nice and clean. But here's some other interesting ways to use it. So with your cake pans, if you will line your cookie sheet with a cake pan, and then you might have to tape or clip the sides so they don't go down into the batter. When your cakes are done, or bar cookies, you just lift them right out of the pan, set them down, and you'll be able to cut them easier because they'll be out of the pan. If you love to do sugar cookies, cut out sugar cookies, you can roll them out on the cookie sheet and then cut them on the cookie sheet or on the parchment paper, cut them on the parchment paper, take away the excess, leaving the cookies on your parchment paper, and then you just lift out the parchment paper, put it right onto the cookie sheet, and you're not going to have that issue of bending or stretching those cut out cookies. What a great idea. Some other interesting things that aren't food related, I like to use my parchment paper for tracing things if I need to make patterns. I've also used it to do stenciling. If you're very crafty, it is perfect to sit down in front of you while you're working with things, especially like glitter or glue. Glitter for me goes everywhere. When I work with glitter, I'm finding it everywhere for weeks after I have done a project. This is a great way to keep it confined into a small area. So it's not just good for baking in your kitchen, but it's great for all kinds of other things. So this is another product I cannot live without in my household. Now, something else great that goes with our cookie sheets is our lids. These lids are wonderful. They fit right on these cookie sheets and they snap right on, so they're going to help anything that you transport in here or keep in here from drying out. It's great for cupcakes. If you make lots of cupcakes and need to transport them, they fit right inside here. Now, of course, if you do the really high frostings, it's not going to fit in here, but just a normal cupcake with a normal frosting on them and some sprinkles, it fits perfectly. You can transport them, not worry about them. If you are going to do a fair or a tasting party, party where you've got baked goods that you want people to try, you can store them in here, put the lid on it. It's going to keep them moister longer so that they don't dry out on you, which is just awesome and wonderful. Okay, our next group of Kitchen Hack products are some of our seasonings and spices. So the first one is our Rosie's Ranch Dressing Seasoning. This is amazing. If you love ranch dressing on all kinds of things, this is 1 pound of it. You're going to save so much money on it and have it available to use whenever you want it. Now this, if you want to make it up as a ranch dressing, it's 6 tablespoons of the seasoning with 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of mayonnaise. And you mix it all up and then you let it sit in your fridge for about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Now it's going to thicken while it is sitting in your refrigerator, but if you like a really thick ranch dressing, just decrease the amount of milk that you use. So other uses for this besides ranch dressing, which my son says there's no other use except ranch dressing because he loves it. You can use it as a sprinkle. You can sprinkle it on your roasts, on tater tots or french fries or popcorn. It is amazing. You can find all kinds of recipes that require you to use ranch dressing mix, and here it is. It's wonderful. The next one is our cinnamon vanilla French toast sugar. Now some people think, oh, I have cinnamon and sugar and vanilla at home, but I'll tell you what, I love that it all comes together for me and I don't have to combine all of this. This stuff tastes wonderful and it has so many uses. My kids love it on their toast in the morning. They just butter their toast and sprinkle this on, and they've got that great flavor. It's wonderful to sprinkle on your oatmeal. It's also wonderful for putting on fresh peaches or pineapple and grilling it to make it caramelize. You can also sprinkle it on your any kind of Dutch oven cobblers. It would be great on a peach cobbler. You can sprinkle it on your holiday cookies, or if you really love cinnamon flavor, you can add it to your homemade cinnamon rolls or on top of your Janie Lou's before they're ready to bake. Those would be perfect. And I love using this when I make snickerdoodles. I use our Krusteaz cookie mix and I make them into a ball and then roll it in this cinnamon vanilla French toast sugar and bake them up, and they make the perfect snickerdoodle cookie. So lots of great uses for this great kitchen hack product. Next is a product that is fairly new to Allison's Pantry. This is our Ultimate Onion Blend. Now this is a blend of onion, garlic, salt, shallots, leeks, red bell peppers, and sunflower oil. Now this is a really great blend. It's perfect for rubbing on meats, sprinkling it on your vegetables, or stirring it into any of your recipes that call for these different products in it. It would even be great to put it in place of fresh onions in your hamburger or in your meatloafs. So really, really awesome product that we have available to us. And then one of our favorites that we sell a lot of, customers love the Garlic Supreme. Now this Garlic Supreme has garlic, onion, parsley, salt, and chives in it. This is an amazing blend, and if you have not tried it, you are going to want to. Garlic Supreme. You can also sprinkle this on vegetables. You can use it as a rub on your meats. You can combine it with Parmesan cheese and butter and create a spread for rolls or for garlic bread with your pasta meals. It is just fantastic on chicken and steaks. I mean, the uses are just innumerable. This is another great kitchen hack product you are going to love. All right, now with these spices, a lot of these come in a 1 pound bag. So they don't have a container that they come in. We do sell a few that are in containers, and so that's very convenient. But those that don't, if you don't already have containers at home, we do have containers that we sell. We have a 32-ounce spice jar that you can either get in a case of 12 if you're ready to stock your kitchen or replace some things, or we have a little 16-ounce. Isn't that cute? Little square jar. So you have those. Now some people might say, wow, that's a lot of spice. Well, don't be afraid to share with your neighbors and your friends. friends. Help everybody get these great premium spices in their cupboards and in their kitchens so that they've got them to use when they're baking and cooking. So with our spice jars, we have a great label that's been created where you can print it off on an Avery label, number 5164. And this is a PDF file, so when you download it, if you have the newest Acrobat Reader, which is the DC version, you can click on Fill and Sign and you can type in the information that you want printed on the label and then print it onto the 5164 labels. So these are really great and they're attached to this webinar for you to use. Okay, we've covered some really great products that would be perfect in your kitchens. So here's a $1 million question for you. What do all of these products have in common besides being sold through Allison's Pantry? The answer is they're perfect as a wedding gift for the newlyweds that you know. How many times do we get invited to a wedding and we have no idea what we're going to take as a gift? Well, don't think about it anymore. This is it. What a perfect way to help those newlyweds set up their new home and their new kitchen. Now, with this gift, I used our cellophane wrap. And right now, we only have 31 rolls left on the closeout list. So if you would like some of this premium wrap to use for wedding gifts and presents throughout the year, go there and get it reserved right now and get it added to your order. Like I said, we only have 31 rolls left and it won't be back until next holiday season, around catalogs 11 or 12, I think, maybe 10. But anyway, 31 rolls left. Make sure you get yours. So we're going to take this, wrap it around, twist it in the back. See how beautiful that looks? And it was so easy. I used to hate doing presents because I never knew how to make the bow. But I had a wonderful crafty friend that showed me how to make these easy, beautiful bows. And they're so much fun. And there's your beautiful wedding gift. And as a last reminder, don't forget to put a catalog in it. I have one down under everything so that when your newlyweds open their gift, they're going to have a catalog to also look through, and hopefully that they will become new customers for you. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching today. I hope this helped you to learn more about some of our great kitchen hack products.